that is a wrap for Survivor 42. We have crowned the winner. Congratulations to Marianne going into the final five. I thought that she had a real shot at winning no matter who ended up in the final three. I had a pretty good suspicion that she was going to be one of the final three, but beyond that, who else was going to be there? I really think that she had an argument against both Lindsay and Jonathan as well. And the way that she handled the final tribal with the jury was phenomenal. She won over so many people, and I think it would have been the same result no matter who she faced from this season. So let's go into this episode. We'll do a quick recap of what happened, and then maybe talk about the season as a whole. Romeo telling everybody he has an idol felt so pointless. Like, at least he had the foresight to actually make the fake idol, but like, who was gonna vote Romeo out? Like, what is the reasoning on voting Romeo out? Like, no, you want him in that final three. Like, he's not, no matter who is in the final three, if Romeo is one of the three, he's not getting any votes. Like, nobody's worried about Romeo at that point. Like, the game has progressed to a point where there is no reason to not take Romeo with you to the finale. One final advantage for the final five immunity. Lindsay is the only one who's even close to getting it. I think they said that she had 40 minutes to look for it before anybody else even finished the puzzle. So she gets an advantage headed to the final immunity. And she used that advantage to get to her puzzle on the immunity very quickly. Her and Jonathan were way ahead on the physical portion as usual, but then it came down to a puzzle, and Mike came from behind, snatches victory, and ends up probably only beating Lindsay by probably about 15 to 20 seconds, which was absolutely incredible. So Mike gets immunity. He has immunity. Marianne has her secret immunity, all going into the last chance for anybody to play those. And like, this whole scenario just fell into Marianne's hands perfectly. Lindsay ends up getting voted out. It was kind of either Lindsay or Jonathan. And Marianne doesn't even have to pull her idol out of her pocket because Mike keeps his word to Marianne and uses his idol on her. So that was kind of cool to see just how everything just almost went perfectly tonight for Marianne. So as I said, Lindsay gets voted out, and we head to the final four in a season where I felt like, at least since the merge, the competitions have been pretty competitive. Like, even if it was mostly just Lindsay versus Jonathan in a lot of those challenges, like, they were competitive. And then we hit this final four challenge. It was a mess. Mike drops that ball almost immediately. It was absolutely heartbreaking to watch. Marianne, like, she seemed like she knew exactly what the challenge was, excited to do it. I think she dropped hers once two balls were in. And then it comes down to Romeo and Jonathan. Like, who would have thought that would have been the pair to go head to head for the final immunity? And I think it was right as Jonathan put in his fourth ball, made a mental error, and it's just over, and Romeo wins. Like, we went all season, Romeo didn't do nothing, and then he wins the final challenge of the season, and he picks Marianne to go to the finale with him and sends Mike and Jonathan to fire. Looked like Jonathan was going to have the advantage going into fire, but once Mike got that flame going, he just threw on as much fuel to that fire as he possibly could, and he had an absolute bonfire going. Like, I look back to some of the past seasons, watching them make fire and like, I honestly think Jonathan and Mike would have beat anybody that we've seen over the last few seasons. And Mike had an absolute inferno going there. So he wins. He goes to the finale and the final three. And really, this was between Mike and Marianne. Marianne, she sold to the jury so well. How do you not pick her? Great winner. And overall, pretty good season. As we came down the stretch here, you know, I really kind of struggled to have somebody to root for. Like, I was enjoying the season, kind of cheering for Omar, kind of cheering for Jonathan, but not really like all in on one person. You know, a lot of seasons you have that person that you're just, that's your ride or die. Like, you are rooting for them so deeply, so passionately. And I just didn't feel that this season, you know, just kind of rooting for Mike a bit, kind of rooting for Marianne a little bit. And like, just kind of came down to the end, and I was kind of just like, well, as long as Romeo doesn't somehow win, I'm pretty happy with this season. And, you know, with Marianne being crowned, I'm pretty happy with this season. We got the preview for Survivor 43. Not too much details there, but should be interesting now that we've condensed the format down to the 26 days. That just makes it a little more intense and constant, you know, less about life at camp and more about playing Survivor, which, you know, is something that they should be going for. And that's what I like. So yeah, I think that we're just gonna wrap things up there for Survivor 42. It was fun. I'll probably be back again for next season, but in the meantime, I'll be starting Alone tomorrow, one of my favorite shows. It's actual Survivor with just one person heading out to the wilderness on their own and seeing how long they can last. 10 contestants, the last one standing takes the prize home. Very fun. If you've never checked it out, I highly recommend it. And that's what I will be doing on my channel for the next few months. But as always, everybody, thank you so much for joining me this season. And until next time, we will see you later.